Namaste, angels. This is going to be our weekly general reading for the period of December 17th through December 23rd. There is nothing to go over on the Christian calendar. I think I mentioned that last week. So I'm going to go straight to the Hebrew one. And this week continues to be Hanukkah. It goes through Thursday, the 21st. So it began on the evening of the 12th, Tuesday the 12th, after sundown, and the 13th was the first full day of Hanukkah. So at this point, people should have 5 candles on the menorah lit. I said lit. What is that? I made up a word. 5 candles lit. The one in the center, which is automatically lit and remains lit the entire time from the first day when you light the first candle, and one for each of the 3 subsequent days which has passed. So yeah, next week, or for the week for which this reading is, Hanukkah will continue through Thursday the 21st. That will be the 9th and last day. On the 18th this week, having nothing to do with the Hebrew calendar, but in general, we have a new moon, the new moon in Sagittarius. And following that, the next day on the 19th begins the Hebrew month of Tevet. So I'll go over that a little bit too. As far as the new moon, I'll have a new moon reading, but I'll tell you that my feelings on the new moon are, this is the last new moon of the year. So not only the month of December, but the year. And I think that means a lot, similar to the full moon. So those of you who haven't watched the full moon reading in Gemini, you may still want to watch that, because that was the last full moon of the year. Not only was it a full moon, it was a full super moon. And with full moons, and particularly the last one of the year, and we saw in the reading, I'm basing this on the reading and also on the karmic energy readings that I did for each archetype, masculine and feminine. This was also evident. That full moon in Gemini was meant for us to determine, or is meant for us to determine. We're still feeling that energy at the time that I'm doing this reading, December 16th at 12:43 in the morning at this point. We were and are through the rest of the month, should we so wish to, meant to determine what it is we don't want to take into the new year. Like, what is baggage? Who is baggage? Where is baggage? Do you need to quit your job? Do you need to leave your boyfriend or girlfriend or husband or wife or both? Maybe, there was an athlete that had won a race I was watching one time on TV or video or something. And he wanted to thank his wife and his girlfriend. And then he caught himself. He said, I mean, my wife, but he was busted. Yeah, so some of us have both, and whatever. Maybe you got to leave both. Maybe you're taking both into the new year with you. But the full moon in Gemini, I felt, and we saw again, was or is the time to determine exactly what we're leaving behind, of what we are letting go, of whom we're letting go, of where we are letting go. Are we moving to a new home? Do we have plans? And even if it's not something that you can actually, wholly put into action, I think the fact that we make a conscious decision and begin to make a plan, sort of Prince of Autumn style, right? Coincidentally, I'm beginning with the Prince of Autumn, and in keeping with, being thankful for what we do have right now. I may not have the money to put my plan into action yet, or I may not have the energy or whatever I need to put my plan into action yet, but I have a plan. And I thank the universe for that which I do have, rather than, oh, woe is me, 5 of summer. And perhaps that will help me to manifest a partnership in business and or romance, or, whatever it is I have going. Maybe I need a roommate, right? I'm leaving behind I'm leaving behind my old place with my old mate, or with my parents, or with my kids. And I'm taking on some sort of new partner in my home, in my business, in my romantic life. So I'm going to be thankful for the things that I have, to help me to implement that, and even to help me to make a plan, right? I have the wherewithal to make a plan. I'm thankful for that alone. and I'm going into Prince of Autumn mode. So that's what it's about. So contrarily, the new moon is about, what do we want to have based on what we decided, what baggage we're leaving behind, what are we taking, right, into the new year? What will we want to manifest as we enter the new year, as we begin that first month? What will we what seeds will we have planted and will we be hoping to harvest come January? So that's my feelings on the moon, at least as it relates to light beings and divine unions. I tend to feel that our astrology is a little bit different than the general, astrology. So yeah. I also think it's going to be a really awesome time. I had been seeing things about Sagittarius. Those of you who watch me know for months, I was saying, I started seeing in the cards, I think this means Sagittarius, and I explained why. And so when Sagittarius when the sun entered Sagittarius, I think we began to see a lot of those things, and I don't think it's over yet. I think this moon, this last new moon, which is also in Sagittarius, has the same kind of feel to it and meaning for us. All right. So the next day again is the beginning of the month of Tevet. And for that, I will, rather than just talk to you, read you a little passage from www.shabbat.org about what it means. And, maybe I'll fill in some blanks. So Tevet is the 10th month of the Jewish calendar. The 10th month on the Jewish calendar. So that would mean of the ecclesiastical year, right? Because that would be counting from Nisan. If we were counting from Rosh Hashanah, it's going to be the 4th month. Its name, which is mentioned in the book of Esther, was acquired in Babylonia and shares a root with the Hebrew word tov, T-O-V. Right, Tevet is spelled T-E-V-E-T, but they share the same root. And it's possible that the month is also spelled with an O. I know, like, my son's name is spelled A-V-I, A-B-I, A-B-A, A-V-A, and because it's Hebrew as well. I'm just giving you an example. Okay, this month begins with the last days of Hanukkah by internalizing the message of the ever-increasing lights of the menorah, reminding us of the power of good over evil. We are able to reveal the good that is hidden in our lives and in the world around us. So I think that connects to what I was saying about the moon too, right? We revealed the good as in what we do want to take into the new year, or what we do want to manifest in the new year, as opposed to the bad, the dark, the perhaps evil that we're leaving behind, and like negative emotions, negative cords of attachment, all that kind of stuff. Resentment, pain, hurt, ego. The 10th of Tevet, so now it's the 10th month on the ecclesiastical year, and on the 10th day of that month, so 10/10, is a fast day, commemorating the start of the siege of Jerusalem in the year 3336 Jewish year, similar to how this is year 5778. 3336 equates to 425 BC. And the siege of Jerusalem in that year led to the destruction of the first holy temple 3.5 years later on the 9th of Av. So we talked about this when we talked about the month of Av, which has now passed. On a fast day, the divine attribute of mercy is able to be drawn down into this world. By fasting over the destruction of the temple, one sweetens God's anger with Israel, the cause of the destruction. Our sages explain every generation for which the temple is not rebuilt is as though the temple was destroyed for that generation. So, like when we talk about, or I talk about how this journey has been walked before by others, by us in different incarnations, in previous lives, past lives. And we're not reinventing the wheel. We're not the first to do it. We don't have to make stuff up. It's all written and it's all happened before. And we're all trying to achieve the same goal. And it's believed that whomever is last is who will achieve that goal, whatever generation, so to speak, is last. So if you believe that Armageddon is upon us, whatever that means, upon us could mean, within the next 20 years or 30 years, whatever you believe. If you believe that this is the last incarnation of humanity, then this is the time when this stuff is going to come to pass. It is up to us to finally rebuild the temple, basically. As such, a fast day is not really a sad day, but an opportune day. It's a day when we're empowered to fix the cause of that first destruction so that our long exile will end and we will find ourselves living in messianic times. That means the Messiah will return. And they end it by saying, may that be very soon. So they're looking forward to the Messiah. With that, I'm going to go to the sky this week. Just keep this thing moving. And I think I'm going to begin with Monday, December 18th. No. I wanted to talk to you guys about December 17th. And that is one of my closest friends' birthdays. And it looks like it's going to be a special one. The variable star Algol in Perseus appears faintest at 2:22 a.m. That's why I said 2 for a second. I was looking at all those 2s. 2:22 a.m. Perseus appears faintest. It shines at a magnitude of 3.4. Observers across North America should start watching it after darkness falls tonight if they want to witness its dramatic drop from peak brightness, which is magnitude 2.1. This eclipsing binary star runs through a cycle from minimum to maximum, and then back again every 2.87 days. But the drop from the peak brightness and the subsequent rise lasts only about 10 hours. Algol appears in the east-northeast after sunset and passes nearly overhead at around 9:30 p.m. local time. Monday, December 18th, the new moon occurs at 1:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time at its new phase. The moon crosses the sky with the sun and so remains hidden in our star's glare. The moon also reaches apogee today at 8:26 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It then lies at its farthest orbital distance from Earth, 252,651 miles from our planet's center. Tuesday, December 19th, another one of my most favorite Sagittarius' birthdays. Although Uranus reached opposition exactly 2 months ago, it remains a tempting target. The outer planet climbs highest in the south around 7:30 p.m. local time when it appears 2/3 of the way to the zenith. The magnitude 5.8 world lies in southeastern Pisces, 3.5 degrees west of the 4th magnitude star Omicron Piscium. Although Uranus shines brightly enough to glimpse with the naked eye under a dark sky, binoculars make the task much easier. A telescope reveals the planet's blue-green disk, which spans 3.6 inches. Wednesday, December 20th. Mars stands out in the southeastern sky before dawn this week. The magnitude 1.6 red planet rises some 4 hours before the sun and appears 25 degrees high as twilight starts to paint the sky. I don't know if you guys noticed the two sevens there. 1.6 magnitude and 25 degrees. 2 sevens. It currently resides among the background stars of Eastern Virgo, though it will cross into the neighboring Libra later this week. Unfortunately, the view of Mars through a telescope proves disappointing. It only spans 5 inches and shows no detail. Thursday, December 21st, the solstice. So that's important this week too, very of course. Earth's winter solstice occurs at 11:28 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. At that moment, The sun reaches its farthest point south in the sky. The solstice marks the official beginning of winter in the northern hemisphere, and today has fewer hours of sunlight and thus more hours of darkness than any other. From mid-northern latitudes, however, the earliest sunset occurred about 2 weeks ago, and the latest sunrise won't happen until early January. Saturn passes behind the sun from our perspective, a configuration astronomers call solar conjunction. This happens at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Needless to say, our star's glare makes it impossible to see the planet. Saturn will return to view before dawn in January. Friday, December 22nd, the Ursid meteor shower peaks before dawn today. The shower's radiant, the point from which the meteors appear to originate, lies in the constellation Ursa Minor, near the top of the Little Dipper's bowl. The radiant is visible in the north all night, but climbs higher as dawn approaches. With the moon out of the sky, viewers under a clear, dark sky should be able to see an average of 10 Ursid meteors per hour. I'm going to see if I can find it. One of the first constellations that my divine masculine ever pointed out to me in the sky, because he's good with all this stuff, is the Little Dipper. So I'm going to see if I can figure it out. Saturday, December 23rd. Although Mercury passed between the sun and Earth just 11 days ago, the innermost planet has climbed. Oh, and December 22nd, the Mercury retrograde ends. So December 23rd should be pretty special for us. And it talks about Mercury moving here. The innermost planet already has climbed into view during morning twilight. Mercury rises around 90 minutes before the sun and appears 10 degrees above the southeastern horizon 30 minutes before sunrise. The planet shines at a magnitude of 0.2, which is bright enough to see with the naked eye, although binoculars will help you to pick it out of the twilight glow. When viewed through a telescope this morning, Mercury appears 8 inches across and 1/3 lit. And lastly, Sunday, December 24th, Christmas Eve. Head outside before dawn and you'll find Jupiter blazing in the southeast to the lower left of Mars. The giant planet climbs 20 degrees high by the time twilight commences. Jupiter shines at a magnitude of -1.8, which makes it the brightest point of light in the sky and resides among the much dimmer stars of the constellation Libra. A telescope reveals the planet's 33-inch diameter disk. So I don't know if I made clear. I think that with today being the 16th, if you haven't seen and need guidance, any of the archetypal readings, so the masculine or the feminine karmic energy reading, the readings for the week, the Gemini full moon, the upcoming hopefully soon to be recorded Sagittarius new moon, like you have the opportunity to watch these and to use them to help you to decide what it is you might want to, let go of and or take with you or create, manifest in the new year. We're not out of time, so I don't want anybody like getting down like, oh, it's December 16th. I knew I should have quit the job. I knew I should have broken up with this person and I didn't. Like, what do I do now? We still have time, okay, to work on this stuff. All right, so maybe I'll just recap everything that I've been talking about over the past couple weeks. So Venus entered Sagittarius, as we'll remember, on December 1st, and she remains there until 12/25. So next Sunday, which is Christmas Day, of course, or next Monday, rather. I think it's Monday. Yeah. Mercury retrograde, as I just mentioned, is also in Sagittarius. So this is why I wanted to go over a couple of things. And it began on 12/3, but it will end on 12/22. So that is going to be Friday of this week. The full moon in Gemini, like Mercury retrograde, occurred on December 3rd. Mars entered Scorpio on December 9th. I don't know why every week I've been forgetting Chiron. Because I'm looking at like a calendar in my head in the days. December 5th, Chiron in Pisces, retrograde in Pisces, went direct as well. Chiron, the wounded healer. So that's important too. So yeah, okay. So 12/9, Mars into Scorpio. We already have Jupiter in Scorpio for the year, pretty much. The new moon in Sagittarius occurs this week, as we just talked about, on the 18th. On the 19th, we have Saturn entering Capricorn. We also have the Sun entering Capricorn. And again, we have the new month of Tevet beginning on the 19th. And lastly, Venus enters Capricorn as well, but that's on the 25th. So that's kind of next week's reading. Oh, I want new incense. Let's see. Then I... All right, there we go. And let's get my jewelry out of the way too. I might as well put it on. All right. So we are beginning today with the dice with party. Maybe holiday parties. Could be birthday parties, the last of Sagittarius, the beginning of Capricorn, but maybe some holiday parties, Hanukkah parties, Christmas parties. Email and massage. Spirit says yes. Cocktail, maybe at the party. I have a party myself tomorrow. The gym where I do my CrossFit training is having a party at a bar in the financial district. So I have that holiday party. Spirit also says sex. And as we talked about before, I'm going to begin in a moment with the Prince of Autumn. But first, I'm going to the Angel Tarot and life experience with Archangel Chamuel, which is the Tower. A significant life event, a powerful revelation that leads to change. It's time to spread your wings. So this can be one of the karmic experiences that we saw. Maybe that job that you didn't leave, it's leaving you. You know, you're being made to resign, or you're retiring, or you're getting, laid off or fired, or whatever the case is. That could be the case. And it doesn't have to be a job, of course. It could be a relationship. All the things that we discussed before. Something's coming to an abrupt end. So it's similar to the world in that the universe is stepping in to end it, but contrary to with the world, and we get some time, typically we get eased out of a situation. This is an abrupt end. It's not, people look at the Tower and they think it's negative. It can be, but it's not necessarily. And in all cases, even when we feel that it is not the best situation or what we would have wanted to happen, it tends to be something that causes us to end up ultimately in a better situation. And opening to the moon, very appropriately. I never do a reading the week of the moon, like moon activity without the moon showing up. You guys know that. The moon represents the sign of Pisces. It's here with Archangel Haniel in the Angel Tarot. Important psychic insights, events behind the scenes, release fears that hold you back. It can be representing another water sign as well. Or secrets, what's done in the dark, coming to light, ultimately, eventually. Right now it's in the dark. Speaking of the dark, this can be connected, I feel, or that message, at least that part of it, can be connected to Hanukkah and, the light versus dark, good versus evil aspect. And the light ultimately shining on this darkness and overpowering it, because that's what happens with the dark. And opening to the Four of Air. Time to rest or take a vacation. Allow more time before making a decision. Meditation may provide answers. The Moon And it's the 3 of air. Great sadness. Take time to heal. There's a need to forgive yourself and others. This can be from, again, whatever you're leaving, even if it's a positive thing at the end of the day and it's something that you're wanting to do. Sometimes these things, you have some pain attached, leaving stuff, moving into something that's unfamiliar, leaving the familiar behind, the comfortable, and there may be a mourning period. Sometimes there is. Sometimes in realizing what it is you do want new, or who it is you do want new or unnewed, renewed in your life, there has to be some sorrow, some admission of guilt, some release of that by forgiving oneself, and then going forward and, forgiving others and asking if they will grant you forgiveness as well, accept your apologies and things like that. It can be because something comes out. Something is painful that is exposed, or something is painful that was hidden or is hidden. It hurts that we don't have this information coming out. The moon. And the Queen of Water, who is very likely, possibly a Scorpio, but can be a Cancer or a Pisces as well, and or anybody who is taking on these traits or attributes, or whose intuition has been increased, or who may be entering a more loving relationship. Tenderhearted, empathetic, patient, and loving is the Queen of Water. Relationships develop to a new level. Trust your intuition. Care for yourself and others. Next to the moon may very well be a, direct Pisces, although again, as a fixed sign, or the queens tend to represent the fixed signs, and that would be Scorpio in this case. The moon. And the 6 of fire. Victory. Good news is on its way. Public recognition or awards. The moon. I'm going to cut. And it's the Hermit with Archangel Raziel. Spend time in quiet meditation, spiritual teaching, self-discovery. So this is about going within. It could be about enlightenment. So again, in connection with the moon, things are in the dark, or you're in the dark, but you're going to come into some sort of enlightenment. Information is going to come to you. You may find it by seeking it from yourself. You are going to be your own teacher and student when you're the Hermit. The Hermit represents the sign of Virgo, or perhaps other earth sign. Capricorn, which we enter this week. The sun enters this week. And again, Saturn enters Capricorn as well. Saturn rules Capricorn. So that could be another reason why earth energy might show up. Taurus as well can be represented by this Hermit. Overall energy is the 4 of water. Missing an opportunity, discontentment, or boredom. Open your eyes to the possibilities. I think this is impatience too. And believe me, I get it. A lot of us are worn pretty thin and worn out even. But it's like you're so close, because again, we're about to enter this energy of 2, right? When we enter the new year, January, we're so close to it. Partnership, duality, faith. So really beginning to manifest those goals that we thought about when we were in the year 1. When our thoughts started to become our reality, they're really starting to take form now, and we need to have faith that they're really going to come to fruition. I think that can be connected to this. Overall energy. Just in case I forget while I'm doing this. So happy birthday to the last of the Sages, to the first of the Caps, and, happy Hanukkah to anybody who is celebrating that. Masculine, very nice. The Eight of Fire, events moving at a fast pace. Delays are over. Many things are happening at once. So you guys know that for me, the Eight of Fire, Eight of Wands, it reminds me of Cupid's arrows being hurled at somebody. It's also about movement in general, right? Many things happening at once. It's all kind of stuff. It could be in the background, like the moon would suggest. We don't know everything that's happening. Also about communication. And the dice did say email. And I did talk about Uranus during the sky this week, which rules Aquarius and would be connected to email for me, or the sign of Aquarius is. It's communication like all air signs, but more specifically electronic communication, at least as far as I'm concerned. Surrounded by that Tower, life experience, a significant life event, a powerful revelation that leads to change. It's time to spread your wings. We saw a bunch of powerful revelations in the Divine Masculine only reading that I did, the karmic energy reading. So this can be attached to something, or maybe we're about to learn of something new to which this is attached. Nope. I think for a bunch of them, it's about ending friendships, ending relationships, moving on, you know, to a place by themselves, going within, spending time with themselves, learning to love themselves. It's the Nine of Earth, which showed up over and over and over in both of those archetypal readings. Blah! Enjoying life's little luxuries, spending quiet time alone, successful self-employment. This is about liking oneself, loving oneself, enjoying being with you. You enjoying being with you. Feminine, we're crowned by the Major Arcana card number 8, Justice, with Archangel Raguel. Fair and just decisions. Do what you know is right. Stand up for your beliefs. Well, Justice represents the sign of Libra. We just heard about Libra. We heard that Jupiter was going to be pretty close to Libra. Maybe that's why this is showing up this week. Libra can, or Justice rather, can also represent other air signs or anybody taking on those traits or attributes of an air sign. Gemini, Aquarius. Surrounded by the Queen of Water, tenderhearted, empathetic, patient, and loving. Relationships develop to a new level. Trust your intuition. Care for yourself and others. So Jupiter, which is in Scorpio and near Libra this week, these two cards showing up together can absolutely represent that whole Jupiter-Libra connection. We have a couple at the table too. It's the King of Water in the feminine subconscious. Trustworthy, compassionate, respected, and cultured is the King of Water. Open your heart and mind to those around you. Trustworthy and heartfelt advice and charity work, which is love. So this can be about two water signs. It can be about an air sign and a water sign. It can be about somebody like me, whether it's an air sign, but maybe also has that Jupiter in Scorpio in their chart. Or two people just feeling very loving, emotional, going through those things. Representing couples here at the table. And speaking of couples, crowning, it's the Two of Fire. You've come into your own. New partnerships or contracts. Continue to move forward. And you're doing the right thing, right? We have the Two of Fire sitting here next to Justice and sitting here next to the Eight of Fire, which is never a negative card, right? The Eight of Fire is a card of movement in a positive direction, whereas things may have been stagnant before. All of a sudden, boom, they're going. Or again, the arrows, Cupid's arrows are being hurled at you. He's saying, you know, let's get on with this love thing. At the root, the Ace of Fire, which can absolutely be that Sagittarius energy, or Leo, or Aries, maybe Mars. I talked about Mars during the sky this week too. Mars rules both Scorpio and Aries. An exciting new opportunity, career advancement, change your life now. Whatever it's about, it's a brand new beginning about which you are passionate. So it can be a person, it can be a job, an experience, you know, new relationship of any type, new partnership of any type, but it's something about what you're passionate. So if it is a job, for example, it's something you really enjoy doing. Maybe you're getting to do your hobby as, you know, some sort of employment and make money doing like one of your most favorite things. That would be when the Ace of Fire, a time when the Ace of Fire would show up. This can also be connected to the die that said sex, right? Somebody could be getting the wand, the Ace of Wands. from the King of Water, maybe, which, you know, would be nice. At the heart of the matter, the Queen of Air, maybe she's who's getting the wand. We have another couple at the table as far as I'm concerned. The representation of the divine couple of all time, the King of Water and the Queen of Air together. This Queen of Air, again, is attached to justice. She's here at the heart of the matter, underneath the Two of Fire. So I think this is signifying, again, the partnership that is going to come together. All of these cards, very, very positive. I believe even the Tower, which some people, you know, say, you know, they're afraid of it. They back away from the Tower. They just think it's a horrible card. I've heard people refer to it as like the worst card in the tarot or in the deck. For me, it's neutral. It can be good. It can be bad. And based on by what it is surrounded, it's awesome this week. So I'm going to try to clarify and see if the angels want to give us any doubles, as they tend to do, or double down on anything, as I always like to say, by clarifying these cards. Not that they're already not clear, and again, awesome, with the Animal Tarot, beginning with the Prince of Autumn, who is the Knight of Earth, essentially, Knight of Pentacles. Trustworthy, dedicated, protective, and funny is the Prince of Autumn. It's important to make a detailed plan before starting any new endeavor. So I talked about this at length in connection with the end of the year. Once you have the plan in place, and in connection with the moon in Sagittarius, which this Ace of Fire can be about for sure. Once you have that plan in place, then you can take immediate action and get as much accomplished as possible. Immediate action may be for the Queen of Air, for you to use your sword as the Queen of Air, take advantage of this energy to cut away anything that you don't want to take with you going forward. Because again, we're still in that period. And opening to the Ace of Winter. Implementation of your brilliant new idea may get off to a rocky start, but keep going. The challenges will help you to refine your plan and to reshape the goals into something even better. So like the rocky start, this could be why as I was shuffling, the Three of Winter or Air showed up, because there's some difficulty. There was some pain attached, but we've had victory over that at this point, and we are getting a new beginning nonetheless. Prince of Autumn about planning, Ace of Winter about implementing the plan. Ace of Winter, and opening to the Two of Autumn. You may be under stress because of multiple jobs or too many responsibilities for one person to manage. It's important to balance your work and your personal life. So we got to make time for those around us, and like social events, those parties, celebrations, taking the time to email people with whom we should and need, need to be and want to be in communication. We got to find time for both. We need balance in our life, work and play. All work and no play makes, Jack a dull boy. We get bored. Jill a dull girl. We get bored. Queen of Air is good for that, for getting bored, especially if she's a Gemini. Like, I'm over this. I'm done with this. I want to move on. We have a difficult time remaining in any particular energy, but for so long, and we have to keep it moving. Two of Autumn, you guys also know, for me, that energy of deja vu from hell. We keep coming back to the same juncture. So let's move on, right? Let's cut away that old one and move on to, this new partnership. Do the right thing. Stop revisiting the old stuff. Leave it in 2017. Ace of Winter. This can also be representing that Gemini full moon, which was again about just that, getting rid of the old stuff. And opening to another Queen of Water, or Queen of Summer as they call it in this deck. Compassionate, loving, giving, and psychic is the Queen of Summer. This is a time of deep emotions and heightened intuition that you can trust completely. Be mindful that you don't ignore your own needs while caring for others. So yes, nurture, but don't forget you. And of course, that was more air and water with the Ace of Winter opposite the Queen of Summer. And last one, the King of Winter. Intelligent, impartial, respected, and unemotional is the King of Winter. At this time, it's very important that you communicate clearly, be objective, and unemotional. Act as professionally as possible. If you need advice, seek out the most experienced expert you can find. This is like Venus and Mercury all day. The King of Winter and the Ace of Winter together. Just getting to business, getting to the truth, being honest, communicating, you know, just a stand-up sort of guy or girl. Justice, right? A person of integrity. Particularly in partnerships. Balancing, like a Two of Pentacles, a juggling act, balancing logic and emotion and using them both in healthy and just ways. Ace of Winter. I'm going to cut. And it's the King of Autumn, who is compassionate, accomplished, charismatic, and grounded. He's also a Capricorn, right? We enter Capricorn again. Taurus or Virgo. Everything's going to turn out great. Projects will be stunningly successful. Exciting new career opportunities are possible, and money or resources that come your way will be invested wisely. With the Ace of Fire here, here's the opportunity. Here's the brand new opportunity. Here's, you know, like investing wisely and doing the right thing. And after shuffling in my hand, the overall energy is still the King of Autumn. So this is going to be a good week financially too. And maybe as it relates to relationships, perhaps being impacted by a King of Autumn, a Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo, or somebody of those traits or attributes, and or the start of something new, a new partnership built for longevity. That's what the court cards of the suit of Earth or Autumn mean for me. Longevity, like we can go the distance with this thing. And maybe particularly the masculine, after having spent some time alone and learning to love himself, ready to enter a partnership the right way, the just way. And balancing, again, that love and logic, emotion and logic, and going after his passions. Maybe like a King of Water only could do. Because he's good at balancing the love and emotion and doing charity work in terms of business. This is still the general reading, which is another form of love. Atop the Eight of Fire and crossing the Queen of Winter is another Queen of Winter. Experienced, self-sufficient, brilliant, and funny is the Queen of Winter. She's also a Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra, somebody taking on those traits or attributes. Libra, like Justice, which she mirrors here in this spread. All your life experiences have prepared you for this moment of truth. It's time to declutter your home, clear away any situations that aren't working for you anymore, and to disengage from people who create more drama than happiness. So again, with the cutting out of things, these last couple weeks of the month, and this week in particular, with these cards having shown up, cutting things out that we need to leave behind and just leaving them, dropping them, you know, where they stand, as they say. Surrounding the masculine is the Princess of Summer. This sits here atop life experience. So this tower can very much be something that is a message that you receive that sort of shakes you up. A positive message, news of love, right? It could be a card. It could be an invitation. It's some sort of news that is going to make you very, very emotionally happy. You can expect to kindle a new relationship. Maybe it's crossing the Ace of Fire. Can't see why not. And maybe you hadn't been in a relationship. You hadn't had anything going in that area of your life. And then all of a sudden, with this karmic energy of the Tower, you do. You can expect to kindle a new romantic relationship or a close platonic friendship. You may suddenly receive an emotional message from someone or be invited to a social event. So maybe, again, one of those parties. Maybe you'll receive an email and it'll be something that makes you very emotionally happy. This can also be an older air sign involved somehow, whether it's business, romantic, a new platonic friendship, an older air sign with a younger water sign. This Princess of Summer can also be specifically representing the sign of Pisces and or the moon here attached with this tower, that it's the moon, which Pisces represents in the tarot, or vice versa. The moon represents Pisces. It's the moon that's all of a sudden bringing you this new energy that's going to shake up your life and change it. Yeah. Let's see if I was getting anything else. Here atop the 9 of Earth is the 8 of Earth. It's the perfect time to learn all you can by returning to school, taking a seminar, or conducting research. Do your best work, and the law of attraction will bring you prosperity and career advancement. Well, the 9 of Earth and the 8 of Earth together can be while you're spending time alone. Maybe, yes, you want to take up a seminar, you want to take up a class, you want to take up a new hobby, something about which you're passionate, with these cards sitting here next to the Ace of Wands. You want to start some sort of new project, a new job, a new business maybe on your own. Successful self-employment. You're finally going to go for it. Atop, oh, I love seeing major arcana cards 8 and 11 together. Because, you know, those of you who watch me with any kind of regularity know, for me, that those cards together, these cards together, represent Saint Germain and his divine feminine Lady Portia, or the numbers 8 and 11 together represent that for me. Maybe we have air, and specifically Libra, perhaps, but it doesn't have to be. Air with fire. And maybe specifically Leo. True strength is discipline through kindness, forgiveness, and compassion. You have tremendous personal power and courage. So some of you are experiencing an actual legal situation, and or a situation that feels that serious. If it's not a real, it's a metaphorical legal situation. I talked about metaphorical jail a lot last week, and also real jail and feeling imprisoned and all that kind of stuff. So it's a similar kind of message again this week. Some of us are experiencing something that's a legal situation, or it feels that way, right? To us, at least, it's that serious. And everything's going to be, not only is everything going to be okay, but we are strengthened and have the strength to make it through this thing, like confidently, proudly, with our integrity intact, like all that kind of stuff. And in the feminine karmic energy reading, to take us through the end of the month, there was definitely some legal issues for the feminine. So I'm not surprised this is showing up yet again on this side. There were divorces, situations, females and the feminine in general, whether it's male or female, so not gender specific, totally gender neutral. having different legal battles or whatever, but being successful. Divorces finally being, final after months, after years. Custody battles and child support things. And I even had some clients or other people that I know that had, like cases pending against them, even criminal cases that have completed now or are in the process of being completed. So all those kind of things, and you're going to make it through. You're going to be fine. Surrounded by, here at top, the Queen of Water is the Queen of Autumn. You will be given advice that's both practical and creative, and it should be followed precisely. Focus only upon the positive in every situation. So use your intuition, feminine, and follow the advice that you're given, especially if you feel that it's coming from the universe. This again can be Venus herself, the Queen of Autumn. And atop the King of Winter in the feminine subconscious, the King of Water, it's the Two of Winter. Maybe some of us have a decision to make about a King of Water, or some of us have a decision to make about something, to which we are emotionally connected or in which we are emotionally invested. We've got to decide once and for all what we're going to do about that situation. Procrastination and worrying what others will think is blocking you from making a decision. If you're torn between your own desires and someone else's, follow your inner guidance. Maybe we're awaiting a decision from a King of Water or what the King of Water represents, right? Maybe from here. We're worried about others may think. I just talked about an older air sign and a younger water sign. Maybe there's a situation like that and we're concerned about what others may think. We're awaiting a decision, or we have to make a decision. We're guided here to go with our heart, our inner knowingness, our intuition, and our justice, knowing what's right. So balancing together that winter or air with that water or summer, using them both. Similar to here, these two queens, Queen of Water and Queen of Air, sitting next to each other. Now joined by the Queen of Autumn as well, to maybe bring them both down to earth while we're at it, and more grounded. Crowning here atop the Two of Fire, it's the Ace of Autumn. So again, this partnership can go the distance, can go a really long way when coupled with a court card of the Suit of Earth. You can expect a windfall of abundance, such as money, timely assistance, or a serendipitous meeting, or rewarding advice. You may even be offered a fabulous new job or promotion, right? Like the Ace of Fire would suggest, or the prospect of a profitable business, like the Two of Fire would suggest, right? Or the Ace of Fire again too, but could be a partnership. Also, this can be an investment that you're receiving in order to go into this partnership. So all kinds of wonderful things. And as it relates to love, again, maybe a partnership with an Ace of Autumn, with a Capricorn, Virgo or Taurus, or it can be because of that energy of Capricorn into which we're going, coupled with Sagittarius. Right, because they're like a day apart, or they're the same day, 12, 19, yeah, day apart. The moon on the 18th and the sun and Saturn entering Capricorn on the 19th, the first day of Tebet. So these things can be conjoined because of that as well. At the root, atop the Ace of Fire, it is awakening, or the Hanged Man. Look at things in a different way and all will make sense. Don't worry if your progress is halted temporarily. Things will soon start moving again. So this gives us a break for a second, maybe to decide something with the Two of Winter sitting here next to our Ace of Fire, as to whether or not we're going to take this opportunity or we are going to allow it to pass us by. with this overall energy of the Four of Water, right? Missing an opportunity. Would you want to miss the Ace of Fire? Especially if it's the wand? No, in any case, you don't want to miss the Ace of Fire. So yeah, if you're wondering about it and tossing it back and forth, especially if you're doing that because you're worried about what others may think, then please go for your Ace of Fire. Don't forget to use, you know, the love and emotion, but balance of those heart and mind that the King of Water would in making your decision. And at the heart of the matter, atop the Queen of Air, it's the Five of Winter. Uh-oh. We may have had a Queen of Air to have brought some difficulty upon herself. Maybe this is why we need the Ace of Air. She has made things harder unnecessarily. Aside from that, this can be the end of, like, as we ease toward the end of the Mercury retrograde, right? There can be conflict and difficulty and funky stuff happening because this week Mercury is still in retrograde until we get to the end of it. It's the 22nd. That's the last day of the Mercury retrograde. So that's another reason too. Your correct path isn't leading you toward the happiest possible outcome. So why not change it? Always maintain integrity, like the Queen of Air, right? Libra. Always maintain integrity, but also compassion. And be alert to the hidden agendas of others. So we talked about all of that kind of stuff in the karmic readings again, that there were other people up to certain things and they didn't mean us well. The people weren't really our friends, and they're trying to talk us out of our blessings because misery loves company. So again, when you have these decisions to make and or are awaiting a decision, make sure that you're paying attention to the heart and not necessarily somebody else's belief systems, ideologies, or rumors, or just plain old bullshit. Because with all this awesome, this is the only card of any possible negativity, this Five of Winter. And it's right here in the middle. So it's something or someone that wants to stop you from all the rest of this. But the strength that you have, this trumps it. And all of these court cards, they all trump this five. Masculine. Three of Fire. Abundance. Things look very good. Have patience this time and make long-term plans. Also, your decision may have to do with whether or not to reduce a 3 of Fire to a 2 of Fire. Right? You might have a party of 3 going on, and maybe that's what you're worried about. You don't, somebody, your friends, your family, whatever, society likes this other mate or the idea of the other mate better than who it is in whom you're interested, maybe because of an age difference or whatever. And you got to decide whether or not you want to change this 3 into a 2. Don't miss the opportunity because of somebody else. Take a step back. Look at the situation another way. It could be Neptune confusing you, and the energy of Pisces. Your head could be in the clouds. You're getting a break to decide whether or not you want this new beginning with someone or something about which you're passionate. You can't trust everybody else. They have hidden agendas. They want to see you unhappy, like them. Sometimes these are friends that don't really mean these things maliciously, but they're being selfish and jealous. They don't want to lose you. So while of all the elements, the 3 of Fire is probably the most likely to be a love triangle because the wands are phallic, it still doesn't have to be. It can be, you know, a family member, a friend, all of those things still. Boom. Feminine, we already had the Two of Winter. We've got the Two of Winter again. We have a decision to make, or we again are awaiting a decision, and it's important. We got to move forward soon on this as we move again into that energy of 2. We want this business done, handled. We don't want to keep carrying it with us. But so far we've been unable or unwilling to make a decision. We've reached a stalemate. We're pretending there's no problem. So this is what we need to cease to do and actually give the attention that is warranted to the situation. And again, we have the strength. We know that we need to do what's right. We have the compassion of earth. We have the love and sympathy and intuition of water. And we got the ability to cut out crap like the air. So let's get it, as they say. And masculine, the Prince of Autumn, trustworthy, dedicated, protective, and funny. It's important to make a detailed plan before starting any new endeavor. This is your 3rd time hearing this message. Once you have that plan in place, then you can take immediate action and get as much accomplished as possible. So this is your homework and your advice, masculine, I think. And lastly, feminine, the 6 of Winter. All's well that ends well. The challenging times are coming to an end. So we've, right, this 5, when we follow the guidance and keep in mind what really matters and what's really right and what we want in our hearts, this 5 is elevated. It graduates to a 6. There's a positive progression here. The challenging times are coming to an end, and you can now breathe a sigh of relief. Let go of the past and embrace the happier times ahead. I hope that you guys enjoyed this week's general reading. I will be back with love and a new moon in Sagittarius reading. God willing, universe willing. Namaste, angels.